What's up, my crew members? My name is Andrew from the Superherocrew, and welcome to episode 6 of Comic Talk. This is the show where I talk about the comics that I decided to get this week. And today, we're talking about Red Hood and the Outlaws, number 17, JLA, number 20, Wonder Woman, number 36, Daredevil, number 596, and Mister Miracle, number 5. So let's talk. So guys, as you can see, DC Rebirth is no more. We officially have gone past DC Rebirth, and now we have only the DC Universe logo on it. I like these logos. It's kind of cool. So this is Red Hood and the Outlaws 17. It's got like a red bat symbol there. You know, for JLA, they got the JLA symbol, and for the Wonder Woman symbol. So that's kind of cool. I like the I do like how they have this in the corner. I think it is pretty cool. But we have gone past DC Rebirth, so let's have a moment of silence for DC Rebirth. But anyway, let's talk about Red Hood and the Outlaws 17. So, Red Hood and the Outlaws are still teaming up with the Suicide Squad, and the name of this issue is called hashtag Mission Creep. More hashtags. Not a fan, honestly. So they have to go to the Arctic, into this base, and try and get these things, or the Earth will explode. So Red Hood goes with Killer Croc, and they kind of talk about Red Hood and the Outlaws from couple years back with Coriander, Starfire, and Arsenal. Artemis and Harley Quinn have some kind of funny back and forth banter, but eventually Artemis does get sick and tired of Harley. Then Bizarro, Deadshot, and Captain Boomerang team up, and they have to go to the main, like, reactor core thingy. So Captain Boomerang and Deadshot destroy the thingy. Captain Boomerang starts talking crap about Bizarro, and Bizarro's like, oh yeah, you know, I just had to leave because there was like a kryptonite defense thingy, so you know, I didn't want to get hurt. I figured you guys would have it covered. Then they go back to Waller, and they have like this door teleporter thing, and that could teleport them back and forth to Waller and to the Arctic. And Waller's like, yeah, you know, thank you for helping us, and she just closes the door and leaves them in the Arctic. But then they leave, and then Artemis and Red Hood talk, and basically they're like, yeah, you know, our Bizarro, he's all grown up. I gotta say, this was a lot better than the last issue. The last issue, I had a couple problems with it. You know, hashtag squad goals. Some of the stuff didn't make any sense. But I think this issue was a lot better, and the art is so good like usual. The art is great in Red Hood and the Outlaws. I'm really, really loving this art. But I am interested to see what happens next. And is Bizarro gonna become an idiot again, or is he gonna stay smart? So now, let's talk about JLA number 20. So the Atom, Killer Frost, and Black Canary shrink and go inside of Lobo so that they don't die from the explosion. So Prometheus and Vixen are talking, you know, with a group of people around them, and Prometheus is like destroy that amulet to show them how you are a fraud. And then a woman comes up behind Prometheus and tases him in the back of his head. Then Vixen and Prometheus have a little fight. Killer Frost, Atom, and Black Canary with Lobo jump through the roof and attack Prometheus, and they have a really cool big fight. And then eventually Prometheus goes down with, he's got no helmet, showing his face. He's got this thing, he says, no, you know, I'll go back to the ghost zone, you can't stop me. And then Lobo just grabs his hand, breaks his hand with the key in it, and then breaks his arm. Then Lobo, Vixen, Black Canary, Killer Frost, and the Atom have a meeting about what just happened. Then Lobo exposes Killer Frost. Killer Frost gets upset. Then Killer Frost and Vixen have a conversation saying, you know, if you need to talk, you know, I'm here and whatnot. Then we see the Ray and Xenos hanging out in an apartment because they left at the beginning of this arc. And I think they kind of have maybe a relationship. I don't know, I think they do. Little unclear, but, you know, if they do, that's cool. I'm all for it. Then we see this woman watching Ray, and she says, welcome back, Ray, now get out of the way. and the issue ends. So that was JLA number 20. This was better. This was a lot better. The art was a little wonky, a couple weird parts where like the Atom's yelling and he looks so weird. He's like, he looks really weird. But, you know, then there were other parts where the art looked fine. So the art honestly kind of confused me in this one. But the story was good. It was better than the other issues, I have to say. So now I want to see what's going on with the Ray. I do like him as a character. I think he is pretty cool. I want to see what happens next. So I think the next arc for JLA will be focused more around the Ray. Alright, so let's talk about Wonder Woman number 36. Now, I've been kind of like upset how this Children of the Gods arc, it's like, alright, we have this, then it's a flashback, and then this, then a flashback. I don't want flashbacks. I want my continuous story. I think they could have talked about the origin of Jason in like maybe 5 pages in one of the issues instead of a whole issue dedicated to his origin, because we kind of just met him, so I'm not really feeling him as a character. But in this one, we finally see they go to the Amazon jungle, and Grail and Jason have Wonder Woman strung up. And basically Wonder Woman's trying to get Jason to basically help her and let her go. And she says, you know, I could have escaped at any time. I just wanted to talk Jason down. And then she escapes, fights Grail and Jason. And then Wonder Woman gets hit with the Omega Beams. And then we cut to the Belle Reve Penitentiary, where Giganta, who was in the first issue of this arc, stealing some kind of relic, Steve Trevor and Amanda Waller are talking to her, saying, hey, like, you know, you stole the relic, what's going on? Tell us what's going on and we'll lower your sentence. And she says, okay, I'll help you get the other relics, because Darkseid gave me a list of what other relics, where they are, what we need them for. And obviously Darkseid is behind this, and he's like a young adult now. He fights Wonder Woman. And then Darkseid says, the reason why Grail kept you alive is because I wanted to absorb your power for myself. Then we see like flashes back of Jason and Wonder Woman talking, and you know, she's like, you know, I want you to say my name and this and that. And Jason says, stop, you know, don't kill her and this and that. And then the best part of the issue, the representative guy with the mustache that we saw earlier in the arc, he comes and he's like, you know, enough, Darkseid, this is it. And then he says, get away from my daughter, and it's Zeus. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So Darkseid's gonna fight Zeus. What? Awesome. The best part of this issue. This issue was actually really good. I liked this a lot. The art was great. The writing was great. The story's great. I cannot wait to see Darkseid and Zeus fight. But I hope it won't be like they fight for one page and then, you know, then Darkseid goes down. I want to see them actually like have a real good like fight. But yeah, this was a lot better. Loving the art, loving the story. Now, let's talk about Daredevil number 596.
Alright, so let's do Daredevil 596. This is going with the Mayor Fisk storyline. So the Kingpin is the mayor. The last issue, Daredevil kind of confronted him, jumped out the window. So now the NYPD is chasing Daredevil. They're looking for him, and some of the guys, it was good because in the issue, they were talking about, well, you know, we should be able to get him, but one cop saw him and saw him fight before. He says, you know, we really can't take him down. But since he attacked Mayor Fisk, and even I don't like Mayor Fisk, it's an NYPD thing. We got to go get him. So the cops are just taking it as offense, and they're going after Daredevil. Now here's the kicker: the last 2 pages. So you were saying that in this, the Kingpin does not know Matt Murdock is Daredevil, correct? Yeah. So he gives,
or at least we think he could know, but as far as we know, he doesn't know.
He doesn't know. Calls up Matt Murdock. You know, the Kingpin calls up Matt Murdock and says, you know, I'd like you to be my deputy mayor. And then Murdock turns towards the crowd as you're reading, and then turns back. He goes, I'm in, and then the issue ends. So I like the story. I thought it was really good. You know, it started off with like a twist of Daredevil, but now it's really good Daredevil. What do you think?
I'm liking it. It seems like a classic Daredevil story between Kingpin and Daredevil. I said that last time. It seems like a classic Daredevil story. Just them going at each other, them doing their thing. But now Matt has to fight Kingpin legally, I guess. You know, not as Daredevil, but as Matt Murdock.
He could be on the inside, and then he could find stuff out, and Daredevil kind of coat and messes plans up and whatnot. So
yeah, and I love the cover for the next issue where, you know, Kingpin and Matt Murdock are shaking hands, but Kingpin and Daredevil are going at each other in the background. It's symbolic and it means stuff, you know.
The artwork I wasn't too crazy about.
The artwork was a little funky.
Yeah, I thought it could have been better, but the story is panning out pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, so next issue that we're going to talk about is Mr. Miracle number 5. So this is the 1 to 12, and what happened was last issue, the High Father, who is Orion, has sentenced Mr. Miracle to death, and this is the issue where it's kind of like he's got his last day that he's going to live. He's going to survive. So him and Barda go all over the place. It was funny because they went and saw Jack Kirby's handprints in the cement at Brahms Chinese Theater. They hung out, went to the beach, they went to dinner. There was some sexy time a few times in this. And then at the very end, I don't know, they have an agent, and the agent was going to come downstairs and they were going to kind of spin it where the one thing Mr. Miracle can escape is death. And he's trying it again, so they're going to execute High Father knows that he's going to execute him. And then, so it was the agent and 2, I guess guards or whatever, and they're going to bring him back to New Genesis. And then what happens is Barda flips out, kills one of them, kills the other guy, and then kills the agent. And it ends up right there, and she tells him to stay. So she's not going to let him go, which makes sense in a way because if they're going to execute him in issue 6, the series would be over. So
yeah,
I'm loving this series. What about you?
I'm loving this series a lot. Like you said when we talked about it like before, this is definitely the weakest. But that doesn't mean that it's bad because this whole series is really great. But this was my least favorite. But that's not really.
It's a filler. Like, basically what would happen if he was going to die and they told the story about it.
It kind of is a filler, but it also kind of isn't. It's just showing that they're together and that Barda is realizing, well, I'm not letting anything happen to you no matter what.
Right.
And at the end,
at the end she didn't. She ended up killing the guy. So
yeah.
But, the artwork is the same as this gritty artwork that kind of fits. A lot of it was that static interference and stuff.
Yeah.
I think he's kind of losing his mind a little bit, and that's why he's trying to maintain, but he's not.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes he's focused, and sometimes it really isn't. So, but another really good issue, and I'm really looking forward to issue 6 to see what happens. Now they're really in deep doo-doo.
Yeah. So for Red Hood and the Outlaws number 17, surprisingly, I would have to give it an 8.5 out of 10. And for JLA number 20, I would have to give it an 8 out of 10. And for Wonder Woman number 36, I would have to give it an 8 out of 10. Alright, so what would you give Daredevil number 596?
All right, I'm going to give it a 7.5. It would have been higher. The story's good, but the artwork I'm not too crazy about.
Yep, I agree, 7.5, like you said. So what would you give Mr. Miracle number 5?
I was going to give it a low rating, but then at the very end, it kind of saved it where Barda killed the guys. So I'm going to go with this. I'm going to give it an 8.5, which is a lot lower than what I usually give Mr. Miracle.
You usually give it like a 9.5.
I usually give it a 10, yeah. But it was a good issue, but I say 8.5.
Yeah, I agree. Alright guys, if you liked the video, please like. Got any questions, comment down below, and subscribe for more comic-based videos, and I will see you in the next one.